Now from retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, what did you think of the way she, without mentioning their names, went after the more bellicose response of a Ted Cruz or Donald Trump? Was that effective, or was it more the same?
And Neil, I don't comment on political comments made by candidates. I will tell you this, that the strategy that we have right now is absolutely failing. It's obvious that ISIS is winning. I mean, just look at it. They've expanded into 12 countries. They have, in the last year, conducted terrorist attacks in Tunisia, Libya, Yemen, Turkey, Lebanon. They brought down a Russian airliner, Paris, San Bernardino, California, and now Belgium. That is a strategy for them that is working. The source of all of that, Neil, all of that comes from one place and one place only, and that is their safe haven in Syria, in the vicinity, in the general vicinity of Raqqa. And we have no strategy, I say again, no strategy whatsoever to do anything about that. General Votel, who provided testimony a week and a half ago before the Senate Armed Services Committee, when asked the question, are there any plans to deal with Raqqa, he said, I'm not aware of any strategy or any plans to take Raqqa. That is stunning, that we have no plans or strategy truly to defeat ISIS.
You know, General, you and I touched on this before. Do you ever get a sense it's too late for the conventional approach you might take to focus on Iraq or whatever to go after ISIS, when apparently they've elevated to the point where, to believe these wire reports, they can send out hundreds of soldiers and henchmen around Europe to do God knows what? That now they're not only sleeper cells, they're active cells all over the world. What do you think? Yeah,
well, certainly they do have a worldwide following, and that list of countries that they've conducted successful attacks, I may add, is certainly formidable, and it's going to increase. Certainly you have to have good defense in these countries, and the Belgian police have demonstrated a lack of that to a certain degree. I sympathize with the scale of the problem that they're dealing with for sure, as I think all law enforcement agencies do. But that will never by itself stop this. The only way to stop it is to defeat them, de-glamorize them, take away their legitimacy, take away their ability to recruit, because they're no longer a viable organization. That is the source of the issue, and that requires largely a military strategy to do that. A ground campaign supported by effective air power is the answer. Using our allies in the region and others to do that. It doesn't require that sizable force to deal with 30 or 40,000 people that are lightly armed. And believe me, look at this, Neil. Every battle that they have fought against the Kurds, they have lost. And now they have lost some battles against the Iraqi army, which we have managed to retrain. So this is not a significant military force by any stretch of the imagination. They are a significant terrorist force, but that goes away once you destroy this force.
I was talking to Rudy Giuliani yesterday. I know you don't comment on politicians. Sometimes I think if I can get you when you're tired, it's been a long day, you might blurb something here. But the one thing I discovered with him is he posited, General, that a terrorist attack on a country is tantamount to war being declared on that country. So if it's Belgium, in NATO, we have an obligation to make good on our NATO commitments. If a member is attacked, we attack back. Isn't that a dangerous level, though, to equate a terrorist attack anywhere, awful as it is, with an act of war that could be played out again and again, as it has over just the past year?
No, I think the mayor is absolutely right. The Israelis have always understood that a terrorist attack is an act of war. In our country, prior to 9/11, both Democratic and Republican presidents did not sign up for that. They thought the response was the criminal justice system. This president, believe me, I think he always believes that the response is the criminal justice system. He said as much in terms of helping the Belgians, and that is why he is so passive and so modest when he's using the war instrument against ISIS in Syria and in Iraq. It is not decisive. It's not consequential. I firmly believe that when a NATO country is attacked like that, which you're suggesting, that NATO should get together to deal with ISIS in a way that they would deal with any act of war by a conventional military. It doesn't mean they all have to be involved, but some of them have to be involved. But, Neil, they're feckless leaders. They do not have the political and moral will to do this. Only American leadership is going to be able to get this done. And sadly, this American leader we have is not going to do it. So this is going to continue, I believe, until we get a new American president, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, who I'm hoping will have a much better and tougher strategy to deal with this.
Do you think, regardless of views on a Democrat or Republican handling this, that we've seen a shift in how ISIS goes about doing what it does, that it's quite satisfied now with not necessarily going really, really big? I'm sure that's still a goal. Airports, obviously, fixation on airports, still a goal. But that they're quite happy causing complete havoc, taking out still quite a few people, but scaring the you-know-what out of people across the globe in doing so.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that you put your finger on this. ISIS writes extensively about what they're doing and why. The reason they are conducting terrorist attacks in Europe, they want to foment the divide and alienation that already exists to a certain degree between Muslims and non-Muslims. They want to bring that to a height where there absolutely is anarchy and a degree of civil war, which they call an apocalyptic event. So what they're trying to get, when they attack Belgium and Paris, France, they welcome an overreaction on the part of the police in terms of hundreds of raids being conducted in those Muslim communities. Some of those raids certainly are justifiable. Some probably are not. And they're increasing the alienation. They want that. They want that alienation and divide to take place.
Thank you, General. Stick around.
Good talking to you, Neil.